I'd like to welcome you on board. Yeah, you become part of the O'Brien family and placed in the O'Brien Oakley office.
Yes, thanks Dean. So keen to look forward and working with you guys.
Now tell me, you've been around Oakley for a period of time?
Yeah, about 10 years now.
Yeah, so you've really entrenched yourself in the local community?
Yes, absolutely. So been part of different organisations and the rest of it over that time, which has been great.
And tell me, what is it then, 10 years in the one area, because we notice a lot of real estate agents might swap and change, but you've obviously stayed in that area. So what is it about that area that you really like?
Honestly, it's the people. That's probably number one. Everyone's really down to earth, quite genuine. The other thing we absolutely love about it is the fact that it's kind of like this vibrant scene. It's a unique place in Melbourne, really. You know, you've been down there, obviously head office is on its doorstep. So yeah. It's one of those things which is absolutely fantastic. You know, love the period homes, matched with that, you know, and again, it comes back to that community, and that community vibe is the reason that I'm happy to stay.
Oakley has got an amazing community vibe. You know, even where your office is located, they're just off the mall. And like the other day, we were in your office and you walk outside and it just seems to have this vibe you speak about, which obviously does hold a lot for that community, but you just don't service the Oakley area, do you?
No. So look, throughout the journey, which has been a bit of a blessing, even though Oakley, Huntingdale, Oakley East has been my bread and butter over the time I've been in the industry, you know, a lot of clients have sought me out to use my services, you know, as I get a little bit further. Of course, other parts of Melbourne, throughout networks, family, friends, referral, things like that, because, you know, there's a process to selling, and obviously they're keen to get on this journey of real estate with me on occasion. Yeah,
it's great. And let's talk about that journey of real estate. Some agents are finding it a little bit tougher at the moment. Some agents are actually winning better than ever. So what do you think, Dan? Because you're one, we just spoke about the opportunity just before as you walked in about how you've got a few trusted people that are actually already ready to go and excited about going. What is it that makes you as a lead agent and an award-winning agent be good at what you do?
Look, you've got to look at the upside or benefit in any situation. And, you know, in the current world, obviously things are a little bit, you know, trickier than they have been in the past. But like anything, there's always opportunity out there, you know, whether or not somebody looking at upsizing, it couldn't be ever better, the market, for that particular type of buyer. And also people, you know, they get to a point where they not want to move on in their life. And, you know, the time to do that is when they're ready. It's not got anything to do with markets, up, down, round, left, right. It's really when somebody's ready to make that emotive journey on moving on from a property.
I'm glad you say that, because the media doesn't really help us. They talk about, is the market wrong, is the market right? You've just explained to me, all you want to do is help someone just make that move when they need to make that move. It's just about helping people. Do you feel that's what real estate's about?
100%. And I have not had a client yet that are in a worse place than they were before we sold the property.
That's fantastic. Now, you come with someone else. Tell us about her.
Yes. So Zoe's been working with me for about 5 years now. So absolutely fantastic. So it's nice to come over with the team in tow. You know, she's from mainland China, Chinese speaking, which is obviously a huge benefit because we do have quite a big draw to that community. And I think there's a lot of co-benefit to us as a team. You know, we work really well together. She was hired as an administrator, but she's turned out to be, you know, a top-notch salesperson. So look forward to helping her in her journey as well.
And do you find that ability in a team to give you that bit of leverage in the marketplace to service the customer? Do you think it's really important at the moment?
Yeah, correct. So it's now, real estate's gone to a custom service model. I think that's probably the biggest, you know, step away from the classic old sales model. So it's definitely a customer service model. And of course, with that comes an experience or an expectation. And it's almost impossible to do it yourself. So it almost requires a team and people to work as a team in order to get vendors moved these days.
So we've spoken a bit about real estate. And obviously the area that you work in, the community and that. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? So let's humanise you a little bit. What do you do to wind down?
Well, look, you know, I'm father of a soon-to-be 3-year-old, which is probably takes most of your time up. But in between all of that, you know, some place that you'll usually find me is usually cooking, you know, in the kitchen. That's kind of my big de-stress. It's one of my favourite things to do. So, you know, just putting something together and creating something, which is absolutely fantastic. Wife appreciates that one. And also, look, big AFL fan. You know, probably shouldn't mention the team on camera because it's a bit controversial in real estate. Collingwood, of course. Which yeah, that's controversial. Can't say that in the lounge room, so I'll leave that off the camera. But no, I absolutely love the game of footy, so that's probably the other big driver at the moment. And between that and, you know, cafe culture of Melbourne, you know, that experiences, coming back to that Oakley lifestyle, running throughout Melbourne, that's something that Melbourne's absolutely famous for, that cafe, restaurant, social scene, very much a big part of that as well.
Look, I'm a little bit biased, but I generally think Melbourne is by far the best city in Australia.
Yeah.
And that gives us that, as you say, that cultural scene, which you get in Oakley, like second to none, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Have you seen much of a change in Oakley in your 10 years?
The biggest change has been kind of a slight gentrification that's been happening to the suburb.
Yep.
Something I've been likening it to is Northcote Thornbury, because, you know, I grew up on that side of town, and, you know, as a child I wasn't allowed to basically go to Northcote.
Yep.
And now it's a destination suburb where, you know, I'll drive from home all the way there for a breakfast on a Sunday morning. Yeah, and it's come through, and this is something that I've kind of seen is the hallmarks of what happened over there, over here. You know, you're constantly seeing Eaton Mall basically being upgraded.
Yep.
Main Strip on Atherton Road, that's all been redeveloped. They're sinking quite a large number of money. Go read a billboard on that one. That's pretty impressive. And then coming through, and, you know, just improvements to the restaurants and the look and the feel. And a lot of these older properties are going to get, you know, renovated and facelifted. And you can see that in the streets as well,
Yep.
where it is definitely, it always has been for quite a while, but it is definitely becoming a destination hub of Melbourne. You know, we talk about these hubs where people desire, they want to live,
Yep.
for schools, shops, transport, including train, and the amenities, and of course, you know, proximity to Chadstone as well as access to the city.
It really is a hidden gem that, well, I don't think it's hidden anymore, but it's sort of sat there for a long period of time, and the locals knew how good it was, but now the rest of Melbourne's actually starting to seek it out and really explore the, as you said, the environment that Oakley area has.
But it's a lifestyle, really.
Now, you've made a significant impact in the office already, which is fantastic, as basically taking on a leadership role and
Yes.
moving forward into that, which we're really proud of and thankful of.
Yep.
And we knew that was going to happen.
Yep.
So some advice for some agents at the moment, because 10 years is a long time. You've seen some ups and downs, some trends, etc. like that. So what advice are you giving to your team there at the moment in that leadership role?
The number one key to success is don't worry about the big event. The big event's a listing or a sale. I think that's probably the byproduct of the work we do. The work we do was in, you know, making connections with people, being indoors, sitting down, getting to know their wants, desires, having just, you know, human conversations. And you'll find if you do enough of that frequently enough, and then keep in contact with these people and have just a genuine duty of care as to helping these people transition from one place to another, then you'll find those, you know, what we call success in real estate, the listings and the sales will come.
Hey, tell me you're big on accountability though.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look,
what does that look like? Because
my lovely speech there does break down to numbers.
I was going to say, I mean, you gave me a good overview, but the word is that you're very much an accountability buddy to these guys.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And
So
the reason for that?
Look, you know, you can backtrack success in real estate through simple statistics. You can work backwards from, you know, once you work out where a listing comes from, you know, you've got to work out how many on contacts or meetings you got to have with people on average to achieve that. And then you can break that down to the number of phone calls to achieve that number of meetings. And it's basically, there's a formula behind it.
Yeah.
You know, if you need more listings, you can work a little bit harder in these other categories and they'll naturally come. So, you know, there's a formula to the numbers, or a formula to success by watching the numbers. You know, rather than waking up every day and not really having a roadmap or a guidance on what you need to achieve for that week, and you'll find that's where accountability comes into it.
And I think that is probably the greatest bit of advice to anyone in the industry, because the fact is that we are about customers, but the customers rely on us to do that thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Well, Gareth, I don't want to, as I said, very busy at the moment. We really like to thank you for that. We welcome you on board and being part of the O'Brien family, and we cannot wait to see the success of yourself and Zoe moving forward. So welcome on board.
Thanks, Ian.
No, cheers.
Cheers.